Hi, and welcome back to another review. This time I am going to tackle something that's actually probably going to be a little bit difficult for me. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, and that is the Frankenskull mech mod. One of the hottest mech squonkers on the market at the moment. We'll go down to the table, we'll tear it apart, we'll talk about it, we'll see what, if anything, makes it special, and then we'll come back up and I'll give you guys some opinions. So let's start with a Clouds Bro Clouds transition. This is a mech after all. As you can see here, we have the Frankenskull, the box that it came with, and my little Scream dude here for horror comedy reasons. Let's move him out of the way. He's no longer necessary. Past that obviously very bad joke. So here we have the Frankenskull mech mod. There's really not a whole lot to it. It's 3D printed, plastic, but from what I understand, it's an aluminide plastic, so there's some aluminum in there as well. This is a V2 model, not one of the newer V3s. This is the button that it came with. This has a Fat Daddy Vapes 510. There we go. There'd be the 510. Put this mod back on, and let's pop it open and take a look. Again, like I said, not really a whole lot to it. There's a piece of silver here and a piece of silver down here that connects on the button. You press and it fires. It's about as simple as it can get for something. Let's disassemble it for good measure. Pop the battery out. So the way this is disassembled is this piece here slides out. That's your firing mechanism. And then it's basically just a plastic box. One of the major aspects of desire in these mods is, and I have a few extras here, it's the amount of extras that you can get for it, secondhand or direct from the manufacturer, like this stainless steel button here. I'm going to throw in this orange-ish button, and we'll pop this back in. So I really don't know how much of this is going to show up on the inside. It is very nicely printed on the inside, if any of that will show. Doesn't look like it. Just pop. Shit. Throw the button back in. Pop this underneath. This is really hard to do on camera. There we go. Then push that in. And then you're back together. And you can also take out this top piece here by unscrewing the 510 completely. Now you got a really nice, simple button throw right there, but that will change once we put the tube and battery back in. Battery goes positive side down. Just kind of slides in. Now, for the sake of this, I also picked up a door from Peasant Mods in this trade to go on top of the Frankie, and there we have it. Let's throw on this this nice stab wood door here. A few things of note. Well, no, we'll wait until we go up for that. So there we go. It's all back together. Let's talk about the size of this guy, because this guy is very, very small. So let's get some readings. It is 72.35 by about 24 by about 42. So from a size comparison perspective, let's bring some other well-known squonkers out on the table. Size next to the Dia, shorter and thinner by a decent bit. Size next to the Shadow, even more so, by quite a lot. So it is a very tiny little mech mod. In every sense of the word, it's about as small as you can get, and it's pretty well put together. So let's go back up to the table, and then we can talk about my thoughts on a mech mod, which just sounds really strange when you say it, if I'm completely honest. And we're back up. So let's talk about the Frankenskull version 2. First off, I do have to say it's version 2. There's a version 3 out. I have used a few version 3s. They do feel a little nicer than the version 2. I'm not going to lie. They feel a little bit better put together. They don't seem to have some of the problems. This is a secondhand door. It's not a perfect fit. It's close, but not perfect. But you can't fault them because it's a secondhand item. That said, what I will fault is this door. Totally has movement, and movement like that bugs the shit out of me. So that's the standard door that it came with, and it moves, I mean, probably a millimeter or two side to side. And that kind of bothers me a little bit, especially because for a 3D printed mod, these aren't necessarily inexpensive, again, for a 3D printed mod. So first, I guess I should probably find the price and how much these cost, because that's kind of important. Hey, let's see. Okay, so the Frankenskull itself is 160 euros. So it's 160 euros for the box, the black button, and the black door. 160 euros all put together. The stabwood door was 75, and then the buttons were probably like 20 bucks a piece, give or take. So, 160 euros, or 150, 40, 100, shit, I'm wrong. 140 euros, because this is V2. The V3, I guess, is 160 euros. So, a little cheaper, 140 euros. 140 euros for a 3D printed plastic mod. It is small, and it vapes okay when built appropriately for it, but honestly, guys, I'm not really a mech guy. Like, it's just not my thing, because the battery constantly degrades the quality of the vape. Now, I do like the size of it, but I also don't really like the button throw. The button's a little stiff. It's a relatively short throw, but the button itself is a little on the stiff side. And I can't quite find a way that I really like holding it to be comfortable squonking. You kind of have to squeeze it like this. Because if I flip it around in thumbfire like I usually do, it's a little bit more of a pain to get to the squonk hole. Fuck. It's not a bad mod. If you're into mechs, and if you do the mech thing, and you like running the mech thing, it's vaping pretty true. This is a 0.7 of fresh battery vapes, pretty close to what I'm used to from a DNA mod. So it's pretty accurate in the sense of I'm not detecting a shit ton of drop here in the line. If you're into mechs, I would probably pay retail for this, even though it seems like it seems like a lot for something retail, but there are a lot of customization options, which is cool. And I will say that the Frankenstein thing and the theme, thematically, it's kind of a cool design. Like, he did very good with his logo work. It's a cool design. And it's not bad. I don't love it. I don't think it's the best thing in the world. It definitely hasn't converted me to be a mech user or anything like that. Like, I'm not going to change my ways. I haven't seen the light, or the darkness, I guess, so to speak, even though I love Halloween-themed shit. But if you're into mechs and you get a chance to pick one up at retail, this probably isn't a bad buy. Pending that you don't think the retail's too much. remember that it is still a 3D printed mod, and they are kind of a dime a dozen at this point. Everybody's making 3D printed mech mods that pretty much look just like this little guy. Although I do think this one might be the smallest, which has some draw to it because it's tiny. Fuck, I don't really have a lot of other thoughts about this. It's a mech mod. It's very simple. It's very simply designed. It's rather intelligently designed, I will say, for a mech mod, but it's pretty basic. It's pretty simple. I don't see the hype. I don't see like the desire. I don't see people paying $5, $6, $7, $8 to $1,000 for one of these things. I just don't get it. End of the day, it's a nice little mech mod. Emphasis on little with a lot of customization options, and that's really what can be said about it, I think. I'm going to stop rambling. I don't review mechs. Please don't listen to my opinion on this because I haven't tried any other mechs to compare. A few people just asked for my thoughts on it. Here's my thoughts. So there you have it. I'm going to go now. And I expect a legion of hate mail from all the Frankenskull lovers. So let's end with one more Clouds Bro Clouds transition since this is a mech. And that would only be appropriate. No more shitty cloud transitions since I'm a mech user now.